If you don't have those options, however, you certainly, let's say you've narrowed it down on your criteria and you found maybe 2 or 3 makes and models that are comparable platforms that you're looking at buying, then your next best step, is to find a place that carries that model or those models so that you can compare them side by side and kind of see what they have to offer there. Now, when you walk into a firearm store typically, or a gun dealer, or a trade show, something like that, a lot of times we'll have them behind a glass case or up on a wall, and it's very it's good on the behalf of the person that's looking at the firearms if you know the make and model of the firearm that you're looking to get. That way it shows that you have some education about the pistol or the firearm that you're looking to purchase. And a lot of the time, once you've identified, hey, can I see that H&K full-size USP that you have there, and I have one right next to myself, a lot of the time we'll take that from behind the glass, and there are essentially, before they give it over to you, or just about every dealer that I have seen, is they check to make sure that it's unloaded before handing it over for you to view. So a lot of time you'll see them take this or take the pistol, and they'll look inside, make sure that it is indeed unloaded so that it's safe to handle, and then either they'll pass that to you in the open position, or they'll close it and they'll hand it back over to you so that you can then handle the firearm specifically. So if now's a great time for you to get, once that pistol is in your hand, you can get an idea for the weight, and what kind of appointments and where you're, depending on the size of your hands, where your safeties and your decocking levers and all that kind of stuff that you're looking on here, your sights, your hammer, all that kind of stuff that you can see firsthand, what kind of recoil spring it's going to have on it for your slide. Anyway, that's where you can actually see it on the shelf itself or whatever. You can actually see it, so you can tangibly grab that firearm. And then you can compare, like I said, multiple models next to each other if you so desire. The last thing that I would say is actually, if you're in a firearm store, is if you want to see what that trigger controls like, both in a single or double action, like this is the case, is make sure you ask. A lot of people, some of them get funny about dry firing some of their pistols. Say, hey, would you mind if I dry fired this pistol, or something of that nature? Have it pointed in a safe direction, clearly with it, with it unloaded or whatever. You can see, what that would be like by able to dry fire just a little bit. It won't give you a great idea. There's, like I said, there's no substitute for live firing, but nonetheless, it would give you some model comparison. Then, if you do so happen to have a selection that you purchase and bring home with yourself, make sure that and even before, I should say, you leave the store, make sure that you know where the safeties are, how to operate them on your pistol, and then when you get home, even before I typically fire any pistols, I make sure I'm very familiar with the operating instructions, and that is how to seal strip, properly clean, and reassemble the pistol even before I've gone out to fire it. A lot of the time is to make sure that I'm familiar with the operation of that and the different components and the parts. It surprises me, and maybe it shouldn't, how many people out there actually have pistols or firearms, and some of them have quite a bit of them, and then know very little about how to clean them, let alone disassemble and reassemble them. So there's a lot of good PDFs out there that you can typically search for these days. Almost every firearm manufacturer will give you a free firearms manual if you don't have one, if you have a used firearm. So those are some of the things that I would recommend that you would do as a first-time buyer to sound educated and know what you're getting into, have a greater understanding of what it is that you're really looking to accomplish with that model pistol. Like I said, it goes all the way back to the purpose of that. And then to close the loop of the feedback is make sure that after you've purchased it and you've gone out and you started to shoot it and you start to understand it a lot better, does this meet, does this go all the way back, does this meet your original intent of what the pistol's for? Is it really what you were looking for in a, fill in the blank, in a concealed carry pistol, in a target shooting pistol for competition or whatever? Has it met those requirements that you set out? It may be a very great pistol, but not for what those requirements were. So maybe you say, okay, well, this ends up being a great pistol to teach someone to shoot for the first time, but it's not quite what I had in mind for what I was looking to get. So either you can bring it back, sell it or keep it and just use it actually for a for a different purpose. So high level, those are the things that I go through when deciding whether or not I want to purchase a pistol, and whether all the components fall in line, and between the needs requirements, of everything that I'm looking for, all the research that I've done online, and then the face-to-face interactions with actually the hardware itself, as well as getting live fire in every case that you can, really helps me to narrow down what I'm looking for, and then tries to solidify that I'm making the best purchase, and then there's that closed loop. Haven't done everything that I wanted it to do when I initially started. So those are the things that I look for when first buying a pistol. Those are the things that I would recommend for a new or a first-time type shooter, first-time firearm owner when they go into a gun store, or if they're looking to obtain a pistol. So I hope that was helpful for all you out there. Thanks for the suggestions. Please keep them coming.